So here we're told that an equilateral triangle XCY has side lengths of 10 centimeters, and they give us kind of a picture of this. So we can see a triangle here with 10 centimeters on every side, and so we're all good so far. And the first question is to write down the size of each angle in the triangle. So basically what we're looking for is the size of all these different angles along the edges, and they're all going to be the same because it's an equilateral triangle. And so that's going to be our biggest hint here, because if there is 180 degrees in every triangle and we have three angles which are all the same, we can just divide this by 3 and our answer is going to be 60 degrees. So if you put in this little division, they'll be nice and happy with that because you clearly understand what's going on here, and so our answer here is going to be 60 degrees. And then for part B, we're asked to work out the length of the perimeter of the triangle XCY and to give our answer in centimeters. So the perimeter of anything is just the length of all the outside edges, and so we can see in our little diagram we've got, for one of our edges it's going to be 10 centimeters and the other two are actually the same. So it's going to be a very straightforward one here, in the sense that all we've got to do is just take 10, which is the length of each edge, and multiply it by the number, which we know is 3 because there's 3 sides in every triangle, and we also see in our diagram, so our answer is going to be 30 centimeters. And so for the next part of the question, we've got something a bit different, and there's basically a lot going on in terms of the words here, so it's quite a lot to read. But essentially what's going on here is that Maria's playing a game where she flips a coin, and then based on what she gets, which is either heads or tails, she moves this counter, which you can think of a counter like being a little kind of blue coin or something like that. That's unfortunately not worth any money, but it's fine for playing games. And then if she gets a heads, the counter moves along the edge by 1 stage, and if she gets a tails, it also moves again 1 more time. So this is basically going to describe kind of what the game is. And so she does the first flip for us. She fills in the table, and we can see that it was heads, so it only moved along one side. And you can think of also like it's moving along like a clock would, so it's moving along the same direction as the clock, so clockwise, if that's any help. But yeah, so we're basically going to be just figuring out where the counter is based on her coin flips. And so as I said, the first flip is done for us, and the second flip they tell us that it's another heads. So we can see that the counter started off at X and it's now at Y, and so it's now gone down to Z, so they tell us that for the second flip. And so if we look at Y to Z, it's only one kind of side length, so it's only gone over once to the left, and so this is also going to be 1. For the third flip, they give us that the number of sides it's moved is 1, and so we know that after the second flip, if I put it in red here, our counter was at Z, so our counter is here now on the diagram. And so because it's heads, it only moves up kind of one stage up to X, and so the location of our counter now is going to be X. And so this question is basically testing, can you combine sort of a coin flip with a situation where something is moving within a diagram. And so for our fourth flip, we're told that it's tails, and so we need to be careful now because tails works differently, because tails basically works like 2 heads. So instead of moving along one side, we move along 2 sides. But it is the same direction, which is nice. So we can see that here in the question, but all we need to do is put in 2 for the number of sides that is moved, because we're told that in the question, so that's hopefully easy enough. And then for the actual location of the counter, we know that after our third flip it was up at X, so it's kind of back where it started, and we need to figure out where it is after our fourth flip. So it moves 2 times, so the first way it moves is like this, so that's move number 1, which brings it to Y. And then the same thing is done again because she got tails. So the same thing is done and brings it over here to Z. And so our location after our fourth flip is going to be equal to Z. And that is going to be it for this question.